The Psychology of Money. Timeless Lessons on Wealth, Greed, and Happiness by Morgan Housel isn't just a book about finance. It's a guide to understanding the human side of money. If we think about money only in terms of spreadsheets and numbers, we miss the big picture. Housel's book takes us deep into the behaviors, emotions, and mindsets that shape how we earn, save, and spend. Let's walk through the key lessons and insights from this book together. One of the first lessons Housel shares is that managing money well isn't about intelligence, it's about behavior. How we react to fear, greed, and opportunity has more influence on our financial outcomes than any formula. We've seen people with advanced degrees make poor financial choices, while others with basic education build wealth quietly. Why? Because the way we think and feel about money guides our decisions, and these decisions compound over time. Housel emphasizes the importance of patience and long-term thinking, showing how small, steady actions can lead to significant financial results. A major theme in the book is the idea of compounding, not just in money, but in knowledge, habits, and even kindness. Housel illustrates how Warren Buffett didn't build his fortune overnight. Instead, his wealth was the result of decades of smart choices made consistently and allowed to grow over time. This lesson reminds us that the power of compounding isn't something we see day to day, but it becomes obvious over years and decades. It teaches us to focus on the process rather than the immediate outcome. Another lesson is the concept of reasonable versus rational. While financial theories may suggest a rational path, real life often requires us to take a reasonable approach. For example, it might be rational to invest aggressively to maximize returns. But if that keeps you up at night or tempts you to sell during a market dip, it's not reasonable for you. Housel encourages us to align our financial strategies with our personal comfort level. After all, money is a tool for living, not a scorecard. Housel also explores the role of luck and risk in financial outcomes. He reminds us that success isn't always the result of skill alone, and failure isn't always due to poor decisions. Randomness plays a significant role. We should be humble about our wins and empathetic about others' losses. This lesson teaches us to focus on what we can control: our savings rate, our spending habits, and our investment choices, while acknowledging that outcomes can still vary. Another core idea is the importance of saving. Housel makes it clear that wealth is not about flashy lifestyles or high incomes. It's about how much you keep. Even moderate earners can build financial stability and freedom through disciplined saving. He highlights that saving isn't just for emergencies. It's a form of freedom that allows us to make choices without being chained to a paycheck. Saving buys us time, flexibility, and peace of mind. The book also touches on the dangers of envy and comparison. Housel points out that we often compare our financial lives to those of others, especially in the age of social media. But everyone's circumstances are different, and trying to keep up can lead to poor financial choices. Instead, he encourages readers to focus on their own goals and values, to define what enough looks like for them, and to build a life around that vision. Housel's writing style makes these lessons accessible and relatable. He uses real-life stories to illustrate complex ideas, making the concepts feel like personal conversations rather than lectures. He shares his own experiences and mistakes, adding a layer of authenticity that makes the reader feel understood rather than judged. In summary, the psychology of money teaches us that the journey to financial well-being isn't about chasing the highest returns or outsmarting the market. It's about self-awareness, patience, humility, and discipline. It's about recognizing the role of luck, focusing on what we can control, and defining success on our own terms. By adopting these principles, we can build a healthier relationship with money, one that supports not just financial goals, but overall happiness and peace of mind. So as you reflect on Housel's timeless lessons, think about how you can apply them in your own life. Whether it's starting to save consistently, embracing long-term thinking, or defining what financial success means to you. These lessons can guide you toward a more stable and satisfying financial future. And that's what makes The Psychology of Money more than just a book. It's a lifelong guide to managing both wealth and well-being. But let's delve even deeper. The book also explores the subtle ways our environment and upbringing shape our money mindset. For instance, those who grew up in scarcity often struggle with feelings of financial insecurity even when they've achieved stability. Housel encourages us to reflect on these ingrained beliefs and gently challenge them. He shares stories of people who transformed their financial behaviors by shifting their internal narratives. Moreover, he emphasizes the importance of generosity and gratitude in shaping a healthy financial life. When we focus solely on accumulation, we risk becoming consumed by greed. But when we practice gratitude, we appreciate what we have and make wiser choices. Housel also discusses the value of flexibility in our goals, in our spending, and in our approach to life. Being too rigid can lead to frustration when plans don't work out. Flexibility allows us to adapt, to pivot, and to find new paths when circumstances change. Finally, the book reminds us that money is a means, not an end. It's a tool to build a life filled with purpose, connection, and joy. The true measure of wealth isn't what's in the bank. It's the freedom to live in alignment with our values, to contribute to our communities, and to savor the everyday moments that make life meaningful. Housel's insights go even further by highlighting how money affects relationships, decision-making, and even personal fulfillment. He points out how shared financial goals can strengthen partnerships, while secrecy or financial stress can erode trust. Open communication about money is as important as managing the numbers. He also invites us to reflect on our definition of success, not as a destination, but as a dynamic, evolving path. When we learn to align our financial choices with our values, we don't just build wealth, we build a life we can feel proud of, a life marked by intention and integrity. And perhaps the greatest lesson from this book is that the real wealth isn't in the numbers. It's in the quality of our experiences, the connections we foster, and the peace of mind we cultivate along the way.